I'm just on board the Island Aurora, which is one of BC Ferry's fleet that services the Tri-Island Run. Yeah, the Tri-Island Run is between Swantila, Alert Bay, and Port McNeill. I'm just on my way to Port McNeill right now, and I'm going to do some shooting over there and show you the local area. You're looking at the stern end of the Island Aurora, looking towards the town of Swantila, my hometown, in the distance. And we're just passing Paddington Island. In Finnish it's called Kivisaari, which means Rock Island. And here is Paddington Island. There you can see Swantila off in the distance. Way off in the distance, that far point on Malcolm Island, that is Pulteney Point, or Poikanini in Finnish, which means Boy Point, named after the lighthouse over there, and in future videos I'll take you out to the lighthouse. And this closer point here on Vancouver Island, where you see the mountains off to the left, that is Ledge Point, and we are now approaching the town site of Port McNeill, as you can see as I'm panning over to the left. On board the Island Aurora, heading towards Port McNeill. I'm over here in Port McNeill now, in front of the world's largest Burl, or what's left of it. In May of 2023, some vandals came over to the Burl here in Port McNeill on this very location where it's standing right now, and lit it on fire, unfortunately. And this Burl was discovered off northern Vancouver Island in the 1960s, and it was brought here to the town site of Port McNeill. Now there is another one that is similar in size to this. I don't know if I'll make it there today, but we'll see. I'm just going to go stand over next to the Burl just to give you guys a sense of scale. This is the Nymkish Bridge, which crosses the Nymkish River on northern Vancouver Island. I spent about, I'd say, 300 plus hours of my life standing on this bridge back in 2014. I was doing traffic control when they painted this bridge. So yeah, I'm quite familiar with this bridge. I'm just going to take us down to the riverside there. And that's underneath the Nymkish Bridge, looking at the Nymkish River. And the traffic you hear is the highway connecting Campbell River to Port McNeill. This is the railway bridge that goes from Telegraph Cove, and unfortunately in 2017 there was this terrible logging accident with the trains down in Was, and they shut down the railway system ever since then. But logging continues, as you can see. There's a log sort down the way here, and we're going to go check it out. You're looking at the dry land sort in Beaver Cove, which is just before Telegraph Cove. And I want to correct myself in the little clip that I made of the railroad bridge there. The railway used to come right into Beaver Cove, and this was the sort, and this was where logging has been since the 1920s, I believe. And you're looking over that mountain there. Locally, it's known as Elephant Mountain. If you can see the shape of an elephant, you can see the top of its head, and the trunk is that long slope off to the left. And if you're looking at this mountain at the right angle, it looks like an elephant. So locals here call it Elephant Mountain. It's got another name I can't remember off the top of my head, but maybe I'll put it in the captions or something if I come up with the proper name. There's my truck looking at Elephant Mountain and Beaver Cove logging sort there. Here we are in the tourist destination of Telegraph Cove, or what's remaining of Telegraph Cove. We're just going to take a walk around as far as we can go. It looks like it's blocked off. The fire was down here in the cove itself. From where I'm standing right now, I could see the damage, and I'm just going to go as close as I could get just to give you guys a peek on what was going on here back in the end of December in 2024. They had the fire that destroyed the historic site of Telegraph Cove. There's not too many buildings left, and I'm just trying not to slip on the ice here as I'm walking down. So I will cut the video here until I get to a spot that's a little nicer to walk on. From where I'm standing right now, I can't get much closer than this because they have everything ribboned off for good reason. But that is the famous boardwalk going towards where the fire was. There's a building just behind that boat there, and I could see some fire damage to it. And that's pretty sad, as we lost this piece of history on the northern end of Vancouver Island. It's Tuesday, December 31st, 2024, and I'm standing here at Rauhala looking over towards Vancouver Island. Over yonder, over there, past Pierce Islands, that's the site of Telegraph Cove, or at least it was Telegraph Cove. Last night there was a tragic fire, and the historic site is now burning. And it's still burning. It's around 9:10 and 9:15 in the morning. And the historic boardwalk is burnt down, and part of the whale museum is burnt down. God knows what else is burnt down. It's a sad day. I see Telegraph Cove is burning. It's not that busy here at Telegraph Cove. There's not too many people here, but here's the sign pointing where everything was. Again, everything's ribboned off, so I can't cross over there to get any footage for you, but I'll see if I could find some vantage points where I could get you some more shots. Okay, I think I found a good vantage point, and we'll see if it's a good one where we could see more of the damages done to Telegraph Cove. Okay, here we are. We could see a pretty good portion of what the fire did here back in December of last year in 2024. And you could see where all these buildings once were, and you could see the fire did some damage up in the forest even there. I'll zoom in the next clip. Just zooming in on the area where the fire consumed all those buildings. You could see the one on the left there is just down in ruins. I think that was the pub. And what was the whale museum, I believe, was over down towards that red building off to the right. And it is just completely gone. You could see those trees again up there where that building is, all just burnt. It's very sad. So Telegraph Cove began as a telegraph station in 1912, and that's where it got its name from. And then during the 1920s to 30s, it grew into a logging and fishing hub. It had a sawmill and a salmon saltery, and then during World War II, it served as a relay station and lumber source for the military bases. Then as logging declined in the 1990s, it became like a tourist destination, an eco-tourist destination, where the heritage buildings were made into residential, and just it was a neat little area, and it had a whale watching center where you could go get tours to see whales on boats, and it was a neat little place. Unfortunately, I didn't get videos when it was still standing. Now, I was hoping to go down that boardwalk, but there's a gate, as you can see off to the right there, and that boardwalk would take me right to a very good spot where I could get some good shots of the fire, but unfortunately I can't get down there right now, so this is about as best as I could do for you right now. I have business to attend to in Port McNeill, so I'm going to head back into town now. I just wanted to show you all the aftermath of the fire in Telegraph Cove. I was curious to check it out. So I will cut this video off here now, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao.
Welcome you aboard BC Ferry. Every member of our crew is Transport Canada Marine Safety Certified.
You're looking at Hyde Creek over there on Vancouver Island, and that mountain behind Hyde Creek is Elephant Mountain, where Telegraph Cove is, and we are approaching Paddington Island, which resides between northern Vancouver Island and Malcolm Island. And the town of Swantila is right over there. Paddington Island in Finnish is called Kivisaari, which means rock island, and that's because there was a rock quarry on the other side of the island, and they quarried andesite on that quarry, and they built the Parliament buildings in Victoria and the Sinclair Centre in Vancouver, and Parliament buildings as far south as Sacramento, California.